I think you'll agree that this week has been extra challenging. I know I've spent at least an extra 20 hours after doing all the reading and all the assignments, just trying to figure out how SVG works, playing around and reading extra tutorials and just lots of research. It's been pretty tough, but let me show you what I've got. I started off researching SVG patterns, and I found this really cool site called Hero Patterns, and they've got a bunch of pre-made patterns. And let me show you this really simple one. When you click on this, you can download it, and like this one, that's all the code that you need to be able to draw that pattern. And I picked one that was this clouds one down here at the bottom, and I just copied and pasted the stuff in. Here you can see the first object I made was a div, and then I created a class for the SVG clouds, and this is the code that I started with, and I just told it to do a background image, and it just filled it in, respecting the rounded corners and everything. This is definitely the way to do it. But that's not what they wanted us to learn. That was just way too easy. So the next thing I did was I experimented making different shapes. It's hard to make shapes without some sort of an editor. So I used Illustrator, and I just made this simple star. I made other shapes too, but the simple star demonstrates the types of things you can do. And so I created a symbol called my star that used the polygon star that I just was able to copy and paste it. If you just grab your object in Illustrator and copy and paste it, it will translate it into SVG code. There's a number of other ways. You can export it, and you can also do a save as SVG, and you can get files that are easy to they're just text files, and you can open them up in your editor and copy and paste stuff. So this one, I took the polygon and I stuck it into the HTML as a polygon, and I made a symbol out of it, and then I used it here to be able to draw a symbol on the screen. And I was planning on using stars, moons, and suns, but then I looked at my clouds thing that I'd gotten originally, and I saw that it was just a bunch of concentric circles. And I thought, well, that should be easy to make. So I created a symbol called, or a group called target. And it was just made up with a series of concentric circles that just kept getting bigger and bigger. And here you can see what it looks like. I hope you can see my arrow, my cursor. And so I created a symbol called my target from the group target, and that's what you're looking at here. But then I also made a pattern. And to create this cloud pattern, I just kind of layered, I don't know what you call it, tiled them or pieced them together, overlapping them. So I took 7 clouds and I equally spaced them apart to create the same pattern that I wanted. And then I just made that put that into a pattern element. And then the trickiest part is you have to figure out exactly where to crop it, and you do that with the view box. The view box is the thing that controls the size and the amount of zoom and where it starts and stops. And so this is my view box for that, and I had to kind of tweak it to get it to be just right. Took a while to figure that out. And then to use it on the back of my card, I used a rectangle, and I just created the size that I wanted with the ratio, and I filled it with a rect. And I don't find this approach as good as the first one that I did with the background image. But both of them, I can colorize them. I've got variables for all the colors. I can change the shapes and the positions. And so it looks pretty good. Well, I hope this was interesting to you, and I hope you had some luck with yours, because I know it was tough.